Nearly 190,000 Americans have died due to the coronavirus pandemic, and the unemployment rate is still insanely high at 8.4%. Senate's been off for a month, and they just went back in session this week. What's their first order of business? Are they looking out for the best interests of the American people? Of course not. Their first order of business is to focus on getting Trump's judge nominees confirmed. So the Senate kicked off its first full day of business with a vote to confirm a district court judge, procedural votes to advance 2 more district court nominees, another vote to confirm one of those nominees, and 2 more procedural votes to advance 2 more district court nominees. The Senate Judiciary Committee also met Wednesday of this week for the first time in more than a month. The panel, led by Senator Lindsey Graham, has jurisdiction over a number of issues related to the health and economic fallout from COVID-19, but the committee held a hearing to advance 5 more of Trump's judicial nominees. So the numbers are pretty devastating when you look at it. Trump has managed to get a ton of judges confirmed. I'll give you those numbers in just a second. And he just released his list of who he would name as Supreme Court picks if he gets reelected. That's pretty terrifying because he has people like Tom Cotton on there and Ted Cruz. But Cenk, thoughts on all this?
Yeah, look, he's releasing it now because he wants to remind evangelical voters. Now, remember, you shouldn't care how deeply immoral I am. You shouldn't care about all the adultery that I've done in horrific ways, and all the family values that I mock and regularly, basically make a fool out of you guys by having you all support things that you claimed you were dead set against. But I'm going to give you the judges that you want. And so they're going to rule against gay people and against women in the ways that you want. So they're going to be, what they call pro-life, et cetera. So vote for me and ignore every other issue. And it's tried and true. It's what Republicans do all the time. And look, if the Democrats were effective, they would pick that list apart and talk about some of the horrible decisions that people have made that are judges on there. I mean, remember, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh had both ruled in different cases, in effect, that corporations can kill people and you're not allowed to sue them over it. And did the Democrats ever attack them for it? No, because they have corporate donors. So that's why Democrats just lie down, and this tactic usually works. So that's why he's trotting it out again. And by the way, is he really going to put Tom Cotton on the Supreme Court? Well, first of all, he's a maniac, so you never know. I mean, I would say with anyone else, there's 0% chance. But basically, he's trying to he picked the politicians and the judges to most appeal to right-wing evangelical voters. So this list isn't even real. The last list, he did this before in 2016, and Gorsuch and Kavanaugh were not on the list. He picked people that were not on the list at all. It's just a marketing gimmick.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So I'm going to go to the last graphic in this story because CBS News did an exit poll in 2016 to kind of figure out what the top priority is for voters. I'm curious what the numbers would be if the same poll took place today. But according to CBS News exit polling after the last presidential election, 70% of Americans said appointments to the Supreme Court were the most important or an important factor in deciding their vote for president. So yes, this is Trump campaigning and nothing more. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Trump has succeeded in confirming all sorts of crazy right-wing judges. He has a knack for choosing people who are uniquely unqualified for the job. So let me give you some examples. So there's one nominee that the Senate Judiciary Committee is considering. Just as the Senate Judiciary Committee hearing got underway, the American Bar Association released an embarrassing not qualified rating for Catherine Kimball Mizelle, Trump's nominee for a seat on the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida. So she'd fit right in, actually. The American Bar Association, which reviews every judicial nominee put forward by a president, sets a minimum of 12 years practicing law as one general standard for someone to be qualified to sit on the federal bench. Now, she's only 33 years old, is 8 years out of law school, and has practiced law for only 4 years. She has participated in a total of 2 trials as a law student and has not tried a case, civil or criminal, as lead or co-counsel. Now, what do we know about her so far? Well, she served as counsel to the Associate Attorney General in Trump's DOJ in 2017 and 2018. She supervised litigation on Ohio's effort to purge registered voters from its roles. I mean, I'm sure you guys can guess which side she was on defending that action. She also argued that businesses have the right to discriminate against members of the LGBTQ community, and she asserted that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 doesn't prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Luckily, it doesn't matter what she thinks when it comes to that, because the Supreme Court fairly recently voted the right way on that issue and disagreed with her. And just to give you the numbers that I promised earlier, Trump has confirmed a total of 204 Article 3 judges, including 2 Supreme Court justices, 53 appeals court judges, and 147 district court judges. A common thread among his court picks is that many are young, white, hold extreme ideological views on abortion, LGBTQ rights, and other civil rights. So even if we succeed in getting rid of Trump, unfortunately, his actions will stay with this country for a long, long time because of the volume of judges he was able to both nominate and confirm.
So in terms of the judges and the ultimate end goal for right-wing evangelicals, did they get what they wanted? Actually, no. And this is the most interesting part of the trick. So Kavanaugh and Gorsuch actually voted in this very conservative Supreme Court, voted to uphold LGBTQ rights and strike down a strict Louisiana law against abortion. So they didn't get anything they wanted. And the reason is they weren't put on the Supreme Court for those issues. They were sure they use that to trick you and to get conservatives to vote for them no matter what, no matter how heinous their candidate is. But no, their real purpose is to empower corporations with every decision, and they have. And by the way, part of the reason that they vote for LGBTQ folks now is because corporations have flipped on that, and now, generally speaking, they're against discrimination. So now Gorsuch and Kavanaugh go, "Oh, who's our boss? Fortune 500 companies? Yes, sir. Right away, sir." Evangelical voters. You know what Trump thinks of you? He thinks you're suckers and losers.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.